Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Journeys Unpacked with me, Dr. Saeeda Jaffar. There are few industries that are being changed and disrupted at the speed at which the travel industry is being changed and disrupted at. And today, I am so excited to say we have none other than the new kid on the block to share some of their experiences with us today. We have Adam Boukadida, the CFO of Riyadh Air, who's joining us. Adam, welcome.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. Very proud and excited to be spending some time with you and talking about what we're doing at Riyadh Air.
It's a pleasure to have you on. So Riyadh Air officially launched in 23. It's been a bit over a year at this point, and you guys have already had an incredible run. So share with us a little bit, what has been keeping you busy?
So what hasn't been keeping us busy? So back in March 2023, the 12th of March to be exact, was when we was announced as an official business, as an official airline, under the amazing brand of Riyadh Air, which you can probably see from the aircraft next to me. Since then, 18 months, give or take forward, we have moved into our new corporate head office that we're here today.
Yes.
We have grown our company from March, it was about 25 people to just over 400 people now. Those 400 people, which we roughly have around 40% females in that, from 50 different nationalities around the world, with about 35% of that being Saudi nationals, which we're very proud of. Coming from aviation, but also non-aviation backgrounds as well, to give us a little bit of competitive edge. Yeah. So we're not just copying what others have done as well. We are very proud that we've just finished our AOC process. So we officially have the license to start flying.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. And obviously more recently, we've announced a number of different key partnerships that I'm sure we're going to dig into. But in particular around sports sponsorship, we've been very active building our global brand of recognition. We've obviously been working in terms of reinventing what we call cabin crew fashion with a very talented Saudi manufacturer and designer.
That's right.
So that was revealed in Paris at a fashion show for the first time for any airline in the world to do that. And obviously in the technology base, we've been very, very busy. Be that in terms of our e-commerce platforms, our full offer and order platform, be that our corporate systems in terms of our ERP implementation, and many, many more as well.
That's fantastic. You have been busy. You know who else has been busy? The 100 million tourists that came and visited Saudi last year. There's just an incredible excitement around what the kingdom has to offer. And we see the numbers just continuing to climb and spike. How do you see that? And how are you positioning to take advantage of that growth?
Look, we are partnering fully with the full Saudi ecosystem, Saudi Tourism Authority in particular. But if I go back many years ago to when I first, as a banker at this point in time in the region, I can remember coming to Saudi in Riyadh in particular in about 2014. And then fast forward 2022, 2023, Saudi Arabia and Riyadh in particular is completely different now, right?
Absolutely.
The offering that we have from a tourism perspective is phenomenal. I mean, let's look at a couple of, double click details. Obviously Riyadh, obviously Jeddah. Everybody knows these two cities around the world.
Yeah.
We have Neom that's growing at fast pace. We have the Red Sea development. We have the amazing Alula. So our mandate and mission is simply to bring Riyadh to the world, but even more important is to bring the world to Riyadh. Because that 100 million last year's numbers, as you alluded to, is going to expand massively between now and 2030 and even beyond 2030. When you look at some of the big events that's going to occur, be it the Expo, but if you're a football fan, as you were just discussing offline, like I am, you've got the World Cup that's around the corner.
That's right.
These are iconic events, and we're going to bring the whole world here to Saudi Arabia, hopefully on one of our beautiful machines as Riyadh Air.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can't wait. If I think about what the future has to hold for Saudi, it's just one incredible experience after another. Let's talk a little bit about your plans, right? You have incredibly ambitious plans. You plan on growing, scaling faster than perhaps most other airlines have in the world. I'm also very acutely aware that you are a digitally native airline. So technology is not a good to have for you. It's fundamental and it's core to your value proposition. How are you leveraging this technology to create some consumer experiences that are above and beyond what have been seen anywhere else before?
Sure. So we mentioned March 23 when we was announced by His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince. But actually a number of us was here behind the scenes for a couple of months before that.
Yeah.
So we did start pretty much with a blank piece of paper. So what we've been able to bring is a true blend of historic, sound, practiced and tested systems with a blend of industry firsts, where we're taking a calculated risk to get that return in order to provide a full digital experience end-to-end for our global travelers going forward. We've got a mix, as I said already, about ERP, for example. We've selected Oracle. We've implemented phase 1 of that. So we have our corporate foundation, our heart pumping in head office here today, which is Oracle. We then announced, obviously, very recently, our partnership with Flyer, which is going to be our globally first for an airline offer all the solution from an e-commerce platform. This is going to bring to every traveler that we have going forward a more retail experience rather than a very clunky, if I can use that uneducated term, booking experience that we've all been very used to over the years when it comes to an airline experience. So just imagine that you and your son, has an amazing name, obviously, called Adam,
yes, he does.
flying from Riyadh to London, which is my hometown originally, and you're on a business class ticket because you're going for business, but you decide to take Adam because it's school holidays. Our system and our platform will allow you the experience and the opportunity and the flexibility to add Adam to your booking after you've already booked. Now, let's say you want to bring your, maybe you do or do not, have help for Adam at home, so a nanny or a housekeeper. Let's say you want to bring Adam sitting next to you in business, but you also want to bring your helper in economy. We'll allow you to do that after the effect on the same booking experience. Now, Adam is a football fan, as I've just heard as well. You're going to go and watch a team in London while you're there. You can use that. You can use our platform to book the same experience. You're a bit of a foodie, right? And I'm going to pick Japanese.
Good pick.
Good pick. You'll be able to book a Japanese restaurant on that same booking for you and Adam after the football match, after you've experienced Riyadh Air. All on one experience.
That's pretty impressive. So just to be clear, it's not just the airline. It's the entire end-to-end experience, the travel.
That is totally right. It is the full end-to-end experience, adaptability and choice. And we're going to bring that very, very soon to you and to many other travelers around the world. And we're very excited about that.
This is really interesting. And it actually dovetails very nicely into one of the other conversations that we had. Customers and customer experience and customer choice is changing so rapidly. You're a veteran in this industry. You've seen consumers change the way they act and the way they behave. How are you setting up the platform today to not only capture this change, but almost anticipate this change to set up an airline, not for the next 5 years, for the next 50 years, knowing change is the only constant?
Yeah. And I think that's the only thing we do know. Change is constant. And for sure, in veteran or not, using that term, we're sure that in my lifetime, in my career lifetime, we're definitely going to have more change to manage. So again, going back, because we had that opportunity to blend safe, secure, tested platforms with industry firsts, we're able to provide that choice and adaptability to change. So again, Adam, Leo, our two sons, when they get to our age, their experiences, their preferences, their choice are going to be completely different. What we're setting ourselves up for is that adaptability that we can change with the times. Go back a few years ago to COVID, right? Yeah. Everyone's choices since COVID has completely changed.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? And a lot of the legacy systems and foundations that have been put in place previously, you was unable to change. So for us, because we have had a largely blank sheet of paper to build this foundation on, we're looking 10 steps ahead. So again, 2030 is the initial milestone. We're now talking about RX, which is obviously our code for Riyadh Air. RX 35 to take us even to 10-year view going forward.
That's really cool. So lots of change happening. And I guess flexibility, easier said than done, easier said than done, is going to be the core, which is going to drive your proposition as you go forward.
For sure.
Let's talk a little bit about airlines, right? The actual planes that are needed. You placed one of the largest orders for planes last year. Talk to us a little bit about that, how you plan on deploying them, and what's the path ahead look like?
Yeah. So for us, we do have a aggressive growth strategy, as you touched upon. And in March 23, 14th of March to be exact, so 2 days after it was announced, we announced our first aircraft order, which was 72 of the 787-9s that you can see in one of our two liveries here. So that is our lavender away kit, as we would call it, using the football term again. We've just announced our second order, so we're very proud around that as well. And what you can see from that as well is our growth plans are very special.
Yes.
However, I'm a CFO, so I have to say this. We will do it with a commercial sustainability mindset. Now, the early years, you'll see us grow. We will grow in destinations. We'll roll out in a conservative yet aggressive manner at the same time. But ultimately, we will grow into being a sustainable business for our shareholder and for our board equally. So you'll see us connect Riyadh to the world in around 100 different destinations, international destinations as well, just to be clear, within the first 5 to 6 years. And we look forward to doing that at the back end, second half of next year as well.
That's a lot of growth. Very ambitious plans. A lot has already happened. How have you leveraged partnerships in both helping you scale to where you are, but frankly, also to help you achieve all the ambitious growth plans you talked about, right? Getting to those 100 destinations, getting to all those tourists into Saudi and being the window for Saudi outside to the world.
Sure. A couple of weeks ago, I was at personally the Madrid derby. So that's Atletico Madrid, which we are the key mainline sponsor, but that's front of shirt for football and also the stadium naming rights that's just been announced, which we're very excited about. That's also helped us over the last 12 or so months grow our international brand, obviously as Riyadh Air.
Right.
And as we know, both being veterans in the Middle East for a while now, Middle East Airlines, sports sponsorship, football in particular, brings that global presence for us as the Middle East.
Yeah.
So sponsorship is definitely one. Two, if we talk about commercial relationships, we've obviously seen some very key, iconic, commercial, deep relationships with Mounts. We're very proud and thankful. We started off with Saudi Air, obviously as our sister company here in Saudi Arabia. But then more recently, you can see that we've obviously announced Delta, for example. Delta is a global recognized airline. The first time the US carrier Delta has a relationship with a Middle East airline, and it's us as Riyadh Air, using your term, the new kid on the block. And there's been many others, obviously, in that commercial space as well. And I suppose thirdly, we've obviously got the enablers, as I would call them, which is the likes of yourself, for example. It's the likes of IBM. It's the likes of Oracle. There's just a couple that I've already announced. And obviously Flyer, which we just spoke about literally a moment ago, where we announced a really deep industry first relationship 1 or 2 weeks ago.
That's really interesting. I want to take us back to something you mentioned earlier. You mentioned that Riyadh Air was the first airline that actually showcased the crew uniforms, the cabin crew uniforms at Paris Fashion Week. You're absolutely right. You are. What inspired that? And what was the feedback from that?
So I'll go in reverse order. The feedback has been massively positive. The feedback from our followers on social media, our global followers in terms of aviation geeks out there, but even from our crew that we're growing at the moment in terms of that 400 workforce that I mentioned, they feel the pizzazz, they feel the excitement, they feel $1 million, which is very, very important.
Yes.
Because when you and Adam, again, and your husband travel.
Thank you for mentioning him.
You're welcome. See, I do listen. When you're traveling on Riyadh Air, we want you to feel $1 million, if not $1 billion. And again, with our cabin crew being able to feel that pizzazz and a little bit special, obviously they'll make you feel that even more special when you're on board. But again, Mohammed Ashid is a great partner of ours, and I think there's more to come for sure in the future with him. That's
fantastic. I look forward to seeing those come to life and when I'm next on the Riyadh airplane. So what's next? I mean, there's so much that's happened, and the ambition and the vision and the plans are great, but very practically speaking, what's next? And how does one actually go from where you are to getting that, first plane off the ground?
Yeah, well, look, the first immediate step, obviously the milestone step that we're all focused on, the second half of next year, is to get our entry into service. So we want to be flying from Riyadh to the world and connecting the world to Riyadh. So that goes without saying. Now we've completed our AOC process, our corporate infrastructure is in place, we're growing the team in a pragmatic yet growth aspiration mindset, and we're really, really excited about that. Equally, our head office that we're in today, we're partly into here. There's a lot more to come, and we'll do a full reveal of our new head office at the beginning of next year when it's completed. We'll continue to grow the team. And again, we're around 400 closing the year out now. We'll grow substantially over the next 5 years and beyond. But a really exciting fact, again, as a tech-enabled business, we have our own corporate website that's been around since March of last year. Again, that iconic date for us. We've had in excess of 1.2 million people apply for Riyadh Air career jobs out there. Be that pilots, be that cabin crew, be that corporate staff in finance, IT, HR, and so forth. Again, more than 140 different nationalities have applied for opportunities with the new kid on the block being Riyadh Air. So again, we'll continue to grow in a conservative yet mindset of aspirational growth. We continue to develop our head office and our base here as Riyadh as our home, and we look very forward to start flying the back end of next year.
That's phenomenal. I have to ask, what's the first destination going to be?
Tricky question. So, if I'm from London, it could be London.
Could be
Could be
London.
Timbuktu.
Timbuktu.
Could be anywhere in between. We'll have to watch next year where we're flying. But what I can tell you, you will have a digital-led experience. Your face will be your passport, so your full identity on board and off board our aircraft, pre and post. And the service on board will be spectacular. And we look forward to welcoming you and your family in the future.
Thank you. I am certainly looking forward to it and on being on that flight whenever it is and to wherever it is. Thank you so much for joining us today. This has been absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
Lovely seeing everyone. Until next time on Journeys Unpacked.